Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is Daily Drop number 90. So, my intention was to do 3 episodes today. Unfortunately, I had a bit of an issue at my house. So, I was upstairs minding my business, stuffing my fat face with all sorts of good munchies, doing some research, figuring out what I was going to talk about today, looking at some articles, checking out some stuff about Santa Fe, that kind of stuff. Well, my girlfriend was in the shower, and I had the TV on, and it was, I don't know, not too loud, but loud enough. So I'm sitting there, shoving food down my trap, and I was pretty locked in, right? I'm doing some research. Next thing you know, I hear a bunch of water pitter-pattering, and I say to myself, that can't be the shower. The shower's never that loud. Can she have the water pressure possibly that loud? There's no way. And if she does, I'd love to know what setting on the shower goes that way to make the water go that hard, because I'd love to have that sort of shower myself. Well, it wasn't the shower. I go downstairs, and right when I make the right, I look over and bam, I have a flood in my kitchen. So I don't know what sort of situation was occurring, or all that I know is that it was time to go into action. So I called a plumber. Well, you thought I was going to have some sort of superhero story where I save the day, I go put on my Mario overalls, and I come down with my pipe wrench, and I give it a couple whacks over the head. Hey, jerky, I'm going to fix your whole entire pipe system over here. None of that occurred. So we called a plumber. And they gonna do some more work on it tomorrow, but we got things moving in the right direction over here. So that is why I wasn't able to do 3 episodes today. But there will be 3 tomorrow for sure, maybe even 4, because we're crazy like that around these parts, right? We're going crazy over here. So we'll definitely have the 3 tomorrow, no doubt about it. The plumbing work should be done. We don't have to worry about no noise, none of that jazz. So we'll be able to get right back onto schedule. Tonight, though, we have an article from Vanity Fair. And this article, pretty short headline, Did Prince Andrew ask Ghislaine Maxwell for help? Well, we know that he was in contact with Ghislaine Maxwell. We know that he sent her an email asking, saying that he had some questions about Virginia Roberts. So we know that that's fact, that's on the record. So I wonder what this article is going to add that we don't know. Or maybe it'll just add a little bit more meat for the plate. And we like that, right? A little extra protein, a little more context. Because the more we know, the better of an idea we have of what's truly going on. We want to have all of the evidence, folks, right? And if these people aren't involved, if Ghislaine Maxwell's not involved, if Sarah Kellen's not involved, if Leslie Groff is not involved, if Adriana Ross is not involved, if Marcinkova's not involved, if the Dubins aren't involved, if Wexner isn't involved, pretty simple. Just go on record. Go to the authorities and say, look, I'd like to go on record and tell you what I know about Jeffrey Epstein. Sure, we were friends, but I was never involved in anything like this. I never saw little girls or anything at his house. What are you, crazy? But none of them are doing that. And all of these people, every single person I just mentioned, has been named in court documents. And that's the key here. Once these people have been outed in these court documents, they're fair game to me, folks. Once you're outed in those court documents, I think it's time for you. I know if it was me and I didn't have anything to do with it, I would be on a barnstorming tour trying to clear my name. Who would want to be connected with this heinous monster? Who would not want to clear their name? And if you are guilty, then you do exactly what Ghislaine Maxwell is doing. You run, you hide, and you do not talk under any circumstances unless conditions benefit you, meaning you're getting a plea deal, meaning you're going to be able to skate, something like that. That is the only way you talk if you have anything to do with this. And you see, that's what people like the Dubins are doing. These people all have access to the most high-profile lawyers, the best legal advice, folks. Way, way better legal advice than you or I would ever have. I'm guessing that most of us out there would exhaust our resources very quickly if we were under the federal microscope. Very quickly. It costs a lot of money to litigate a federal case, especially if you think you're going to go to the mattresses with the federal government. So these people have that kind of money. These people are the kind of people that could actually litigate and wage war against the federal government. And so the federal government would love to flip them as opposed to prosecute them and go all the way up the ladder. But all the way up the ladder is Ghislaine Maxwell, as I discussed earlier. In my humble opinion, in this host's humble opinion, she was the linchpin of this whole thing. She was the one who made the whole operation go round and round. She must be brought to justice. All right, so let's hop into this article. And as I said before, the headline, Did Prince Andrew Ask Ghislaine Maxwell for Help? And the author is Aaron Vanderhoof, and it was published today, January 2nd at 2:44 p.m., I'm guessing Eastern Standard Time. Since renewed attention to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes reached a fever pitch over the summer, Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell have both seen their lives change drastically. After a BBC interview that was widely criticized, Andrew stepped back from public duties as a royal in November, and the whereabouts of Maxwell, who has been called Epstein's enabler, have largely been unknown. Enabler, more like pedophile friend, and stepped back from public life, more like his mum fired him. In the BBC interview that led to his resignation from public duty, firing from public duty, he said he saw Maxwell, but he claimed they did not discuss the late financier, pedophile. But a report from Page 6 claims that the prince asked his friend of a few decades, with whom he has reportedly been in constant contact, for help solving his own PR problems. A source told Page 6 that Andrew asked Maxwell to do an interview in his defense. And we discussed that earlier. We discussed the Page 6 revelations, and we discussed the fact that Maxwell believes that she is so insulated, that she is so untouchable, that she is brazen enough to drop these little breadcrumbs. According to the source, Andrew wanted an interview that would clear his name after he faced accusations from Virginia Roberts. In multiple statements, Andrew has denied Roberts' allegations. Andrew pleaded with Ghislaine to publicly defend him, the source said. She carefully considered it, but decided no good would come of it if she came forward. It isn't in her best interests. In early December, The Sun reported that Maxwell was considering a public interview, but these new comments cast some doubt on that. Maxwell's lawyers did not respond to Page 6 when asked for comment. She has previously denied any wrongdoing. So, why would she come out to clear Prince Andrew? She's still, as close as they supposedly are, she still wants to have that dirt on him. She still has that dossier on him. She still has the information on him. Why would she turn that over? Why would she come out and risk her own freedom and risk giving up her whereabouts and risk giving up those who are protecting her to protect somebody that she has the goods on, and she will sink at a moment's notice if it means protecting herself? Don't think that she will not. If you think that she'll hold up under the question, you have another thing coming. The source also told Page 6 that Maxwell's whereabouts have been mysterious because she has been in hiding since the Epstein case received renewed public scrutiny over the summer. She is not in the U.S. She moves around, the source claimed. She is sometimes in the U.K., but most often in other countries such as Israel, where her powerful contacts have provided her with safe houses and protection. Who would be providing her protection, folks? And why? And what sort of safe houses? Who uses that sort of term? I wonder. The intelligence communities use that sort of term, don't they? Law enforcement uses that sort of term, don't they? That isn't a normal term. If you're running from your whatever, oh, I'm going to the safe house. What does that even mean? Who has safe houses readily available to them? The report comes a week after law enforcement sources told Reuters that the FBI is investigating Maxwell along with others they claim facilitated Epstein. On Monday, Maxwell's friend Laura Goldman told The Sun that she is convinced she won't be prosecuted. Ghislaine and her sister Isabel remain totally convinced that she'll escape any criminal convictions and will eventually clear the family name and return to high society once the dust has settled, Goldman said. And this Goldman lady, she might be an attention hog. I don't know how much validity we can put into her statements or, if we should believe her. Earlier this year, Andrew decided to take his battle against the Epstein rumors to the tabloids, and anonymous sources tried out a few defenses he would later use on his own behalf. Though the approach didn't end well for the prince, now that sources connected to Maxwell are coming forward with new information, it's another opportunity to see the strategy in action. Yep, well, we know that they tried the fake picture, the fingers, he doesn't wear that kit, he was at the pizza joint, he doesn't sweat, etc., etc. They had 101 different excuses and none of them cut the mustard. The dog didn't hunt on any of them. Horrible, horrible, horrible defense strategy. And for him to think that that was going to be a good idea to get on that interview and try and draw a line under it with the bogus defense that he was running, well, that just goes to show you the mindset of this man. He is completely and utterly delusional at this point, thinking he's ever going to be welcomed back into society. Furthermore, I know that he's not an object of the investigation as of yet into this whole Ghislaine Maxwell situation that the FBI has uncorked, but that does not mean that he won't be. So he better worry about his freedom as well as coming back into high society. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at Bobbycapucci at protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI at protonmail.com. And if you would like to help support the podcast and help support some of our upcoming journeys as we continue to cover this ever unfolding show, you can do that by clicking on the GoFundMe link inside of the description box. We will be back tomorrow and we will do it all over again. Have a great night, folks.